Just like most movie sequels, this movie is inferior to the original, an underwhelming attempt to turn a tight little thriller into a sequel-spawning franchise. This sequel lacks many of the original strengths while failing to improve on its more underdeveloped aspects. The audiences will feel trapped in this badly made horror sequel, which consists mostly of idiotic scenes of people yelling at each other while they unrealistically solve convoluted puzzles. The so-called problem solving in the movie doesn't feel earned because it looks exactly like what it is, overly staged nonsense from a poorly written screenplay. Set pieces always come with impressive set design, but not necessarily with escalating intensity. As the main characters make their way through, the movie shows almost too much faith in its own premise. After 30 or 40 minutes, it becomes clear that despite a few more callbacks, this is a more of the same sequel, not a next-level sequel. A less interesting cast of characters supports the first installment star Taylor Russell, and the perils they face, though sometimes diverting, mostly lack the elegance of the 2019's film's scares. At their worst, they turn like a video game, forcing the audience to watch characters play through levels. What's unintentionally amusing about this movie is of the first movie finale, which had Zoe and Ben learning where Minos was located and preparing for revenge. The sequel doesn't open with thunder, but with hesitation, finding Zoe terrified of flying due to past trauma, spending weeks avoiding airport departures, and working things out with her therapist. The sequel lost its momentum. There's also supposed to be a sense of anxiousness about where the escape rooms begin and the outside world ends, and vice versa, but that's completely stripped out of this second effort. The filmmakers struggle to come up with tricky ways for their heroes to face and evade death. The bottom line danger may be just as elemental, but the specifics are more contrived and convoluted, over-busy in a way that emphasizes how unsatisfying most of the movie's riddles and puzzles are. As much as the movie tries to spin something memorable, the repetition and overtness gets tiring fast. While individual scenes may be tense, the overall film never is. None of the acting in this movie is outstanding. It's all very formulaic, and forget about getting to know the characters in the movie because they're as hollow can be. It all becomes so tedious and predictable after a while. It's always apparent where the narrative is headed. Visually and in its soundtrack, every stylistic touch paints by the numbers too. Overall, we do not recommend this movie at all.